Somebody needs to grab that dog. Hello, and
Well,
welcome to Book versus Movie. This is a podcast where we read books that have been adapted into movies, and then we try to decide which we like better, the book or the movie. I am Margo P. of ColumbiaBook.com, and today's very special guest co-host is my nephew, Fred.
your
Hi,
nephew.
Fred. My
Hello.
nephew.
Also, that dog.
Um, Hi, Fred. What about the dog?
Also, that dog more or less grabbed him.
Fred is, oh my gosh, are you 10 now?
Yeah.
Wow. Double digits. And one of the reasons why we decided to have Fred on this week is we haven't, first of all, we haven't done a kids book and movie for a bit. But Fred is one of the best readers that I know. He reads maybe even more than I do. So, Fred, we asked you to pick a book and movie for this episode. And a lot of the ones that you suggested we'd already done. But you chose Winn-Dixie. Can you tell us why you picked this book?
Well, I mean, I already read the book and watched the movie, both of them, and I know it's really good. And also, it feels like more of a light-hearted story for a podcast that usually does more adult books.
That's very true, especially our last two episodes. If you joined us for King's Row and Letters to Uranus, you know that they were pretty serious. So it is, yeah, it was fun for me this week to do this book and movie as well. I hadn't read the book in a long time, probably since my kids were little, and I had never seen the movie. Let's talk about our author. Kate, is it DiCamillo? Is that how you pronounce her name? So this book, because of Winn-Dixie, was DiCamillo's first novel. And do you know very much about her, Fred?
No, the only
Have
way I know her is because she's on the cover of the book.
Have you read any of her other books, like The Tale of Despero?
Oh yeah. Um, I actually read that and watched the movie.
Oh, good. So she's one of the best-selling children's authors in the United States. She was born in 1964 in Philadelphia, and very much like India Opal in Winn-Dixie, when she was a little girl, her family moved to Florida, and her mother was a teacher, and her father was a orthodontist, I think I want to say. But very interestingly, she wasn't a writer right away. She didn't necessarily always want to be a writer. And she was working in a book warehouse, and she was put in the kids section, if I recall. And she started reading a lot of children's books and young adult books and thought she would like to try her hand at it. And the very first book that she wrote was this book that we're talking about today because of Winn-Dixie. And so, like a lot of authors, she writes her first novel and she sends it around to publishers to see if anybody wants to print it. And what do you think happened, Fred? Did people want to print it?
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, more buy it than print it.
She did it, although it seems like because this is such a very popular book that so many people and so many kids have read, that people would read this story like you and me and be like, this is a great story. We have to get this out there for people to read. But that's not exactly what happened. Kate, again, nobody knew who she was. Nobody knew that she was this famous author. She goes that she wasn't famous yet. And it is hard for women in publishing even now. And it isn't easy to get books published with a girl as the main character. That might have had something to do with it. So when she sent the book around the first few times, it was rejected. People sent it back. It said, "Thanks, but no thanks." How many times do you think her book was rejected?
Mm, I'm guessing 15,
A little higher.
17.
Her book, because of Winn-Dixie, was rejected over 400 times.
You said a little.
I know. That's a lot by anybody's standards. But it's an interesting, for people who maybe are thinking about writing a book or telling their story. I think it's a really important lesson. What if you can imagine after even 50 times of saying people telling you they don't want your story, of thinking like, oh, well, I guess I won't, I guess nobody's really interested in this. But she kept going over 400 times. And finally, a publisher said, yes, we will publish this book. And here we are, not only talking about the book, but talking about the movie.
Yeah, and also the movie features the the person that plays Otis was actually a famous musician at the time.
Mhm. He's
Dave
famous. He's still famous
Matthews.
today. Dave Matthews.
Oh,
Yes.
I thought he
Are
was
you
like a
familiar?
70 guys.
Are you familiar with Dave Matthews at all? Of the work
I
of Dave
didn't exist.
Matthews beyond this film?
I didn't exist in the 80s.
No, you did not exist in the 80s. Although I don't think Dave Matthews was recording yet in the 80s either. But yes, Dave Matthews is in this movie. This is a big Hollywood movie that they made from Kate's book that she wrote while she was working in the book warehouse. So let's talk about this book, Because of Winn-Dixie. First of all, you and I are both from San Diego,
Yeah,
and we are West Coast type people. And did you know, when you read this book, did you know what Winn-Dixie was?
it's a supermarket, right?
Yes, but
Like
did you know
grocery
that
stores.
before you read the book?
No.
No, neither did I. But yeah, I've not lived any place in the US, even though I've lived around the country. I've never lived any place that had a Winn-Dixie. Here in Southern California, we have our own supermarket chains. But do you know anybody in your life that has a pet with an unusual name like Winn-Dixie?
Mm, no, not
No,
really. But it's like if you named your dog Lily, she's an adorable chug. Walmart.
exactly. I would not name her Walmart, but yes, it is exactly like that. So let's talk about this book, Because of Winn-Dixie. Tell me again, what is it about this book that um, you liked? Like, when you started reading this book, what was the first thing about it that kind of got your interest and made you want to keep reading?
Well, actually, it was an assigned reading for
Oh,
class.
was it?
Yeah, but I still like the book, and I'll still tell you the reason, even though it's not really. But, anyways, I think I really liked it because it's basically just about somebody making a friend with an animal, and that animal being probably the most comedic character there's ever or since there was the caveman that invented the wheel.
So she does a super good job of describing a very unusual kind of dog, and we'll get to Winn-Dixie in just a minute, but let's set the scene. So for those of you, if you're brand new and you're just joining us because you happen to love this book and or movie, we spoil everything here. So we're going to tell you all of the
Oh,
details of everything that happens. So if you don't want to know what happens, maybe go read the book or watch the movie and then come back and join the discussion. So
yeah, we
who's our
spoil
main
it at
character?
um. I want to say Winn-Dixie, but I feel like India Opal.
Yeah, she's our main character and our narrator, which means what?
She's the main character. Oh wait, no, she's the protagonist.
It means,
She's
yeah, she's you could say she's the protagonist. Because even though the story is a lot about the dog, it's really about what happens to India Opal, um and she's had a kind of an unusual set of circumstances. Um and when I asked about the narrator, the story's being told from her point of view, right? So um all of the things that happen, we get to hear what she thinks about it and how she sees it. So um what has happened when the book starts? what's going on with India Opal's life. And she's about your age, right?
Uh, I think she's 13.
Is she that much older? I'm going to check. But tell the folks where we are with India's life when we start this book. What's
Well,
happened to her?
luckily, yeah, I have the book right here. Uh, India Opal old story. Mm, mm, let's see. So she basically doesn't have a mom. She's either dead or left. They never really tell us specifically. It could have been implied, but we're oblivious to it that she's dead or that she just left from pressure and stuff. And it's also listed that she's alcoholic. But anyways, she left. They moved to Naomi, Florida. Uh, Opal doesn't like it there. There are very few kids, and the preacher is preaching inside of a supermarket. That's not a Winn-Dixie.
That's right. So Opal's father, and she is 10 years old. Opal's father is a preacher. And like Fred said, we don't really know. We know her mom is gone, but we don't know why or if her mom is alive or not. We never really find out. Um,
I
and
think I think she left either for her own sake or for the sake of her family because in the book she is an alcoholic.
mhm. We do learn that. We know that Opal's mother left her and her father when Opal was only about 3 years old. So Opal doesn't really remember her mom, and her father, who was a preacher, um, isn't really very forthcoming with any details about his wife's life or what
Disappearance.
even what she looked like.
Yeah,
She doesn't even know
he's
what
this.
what her mom looked like.
Yeah, he's described as a as he's like a turtle. Or he always slinks his head back into his shell, not ever coming out to see the world.
Yeah, so she describes her dad that way a lot. What do you think that means? What do you think Opal means by that? That her
He's
father's like
not
a
very
turtle?
open.
No,
He's
huh?
not very open.
But
He's
he
the
oh,
strict preacher.
he's what?
The strict preacher. She doesn't call him dad. She just calls him preacher.
That's a very good point, Fred. She doesn't call him dad. She always refers to him as the preacher, even when
In the
she's
book,
talking.
and
Yeah.
in the book, in the movie, she calls him daddy.
Uh-huh. But yes, you're right. In the book, even when she's talking to Winn-Dixie and she's just alone in the house with Winn-Dixie, refers to her father as the preacher. And the preacher, and it's not really clear like what denomination um the preacher is, but he has been sent to preach in this town, Naomi, Florida, and
A
the
quick it
church is
pick.
a quicket pick. The church is in a con what am I trying to say?
Convenience store.
Yes, a convenience store, a converted convenience store, which is not an easy thing to say. And it still has
Converted
like
convenience store.
it still has the signage and everything, and the people bring their own chairs, and he's doing his preaching there at this church, and he and Opal are living in a trailer park as part of the deal. They have this place to live as part of his job there as a preacher. Now, our author, Kate DiCamillo, also when she was a little girl, moves to Florida. She was originally from Philadelphia, I think it was. And very much like India Opal, she moves to Florida when she's a little girl. And you've never had quite this experience, Fred, of moving to a new place and being a new kid in a school where everybody has all been in the same grade together. Have you?
Actually, no. I did move once, but it was only temporarily for 6 months, so it doesn't really count.
Because you were still going to the same school.
Oh, no. Actually, it was over the summer.
Ah, I see.
So I only had little time of school, little time. spent at school when I was there, and it was the same school, so not really a
Yeah.
move, more like a
Yeah.
vacation.
I had a something like that experience when I was a little bit older than India Opal. We moved to a different part of San Diego. San Diego's quite a big place. Um, and I had to start new school and make new friends and all of that. And it's difficult. It's difficult for adults, like when we get a new job at a new place and we have to meet our new coworkers that we're going to be spending all this time with. You don't necessarily hit it off right away. And so India Opal is in this situation where she's in a new place that's not familiar to her. She the only person she knows is her dad. And
Well, she's not going to school. She never goes to school in the book.
yeah, it must be summertime, huh?
Yeah, it's listed that it's summer in both the book and movie.
Mhm. And um and she says something that I think that is kind of interesting because she tells you right away about her mom, and she says that being in the new place where she doesn't know anybody makes her miss her mother even more.
Cause like I think it was because when she was back at her home, there were like traces of her mother, but here her mother is just erased.
Yeah. And so she starts cuz she's kind of on her own. Her dad's working, right? And there's no school like you said. And so it's a small town, and she starts kind of just wandering around, and she sort of encounters some other kids that are her age.
The
So tell us about the kids
oh,
that she meets.
she meets the Dewberry Boys. She
And what
refers
are
to
they
them
like?
as they look like babies. Apparently, he they got shaved because once they got they got lice from their cat, and now they look like bald-headed babies. There's Sweetie Pie Thomas, who's about to turn 6, invites Opal to her birthday party, and sucks on her knuckle a lot.
So she meets these
And
two boys that are her age that
yeah,
they're not really getting along very well. And then she meets what's her name? Sweetie Pie Thomas,
yeah,
who's
Sweetie Pie Thomas
nice.
just wants a dog.
Yeah,
She just
she's
wants a
nice.
dog.
Yeah, she's a little girl though. She's a 6-year-old is not the same as a 10-year-old.
But
Um,
don't forget about pinched face Amanda.
okay, so tell us about Amanda. So there's another little girl who's the same age as India Opal, and her name is Amanda.
Yeah, she thinks she's really mean until she finds out that her brother drowned, and that's why she acts kind of rude. Which
Mhm.
is really deep for such a lighthearted book. Someone
There's a
drowned.
You know what? There's a lot of kind of serious and sad things in this book, right? So we have
Yeah.
her moving to this new town, and like you would when you move to a new town when you're a kid, you're meeting the other neighborhood kids. They maybe seem a little weird to you. You seem a little weird to them. But like in real life, there's some really serious things also going on. Yeah, Amanda's we learn that her little brother um did he drown? Is that what happened?
Yeah, he
Mm.
drowned a year before the events of the book.
Mhm.
The Dewberry Boys are the ones that told him.
And so, how she's trying to look for some friends. And I think she even wishes for a friend.
Oh
Kind of
yeah,
right, doesn't she?
before she meets Winn-Dixie, like right before then, and she prays. She was praying to God, as preacher's daughter does, and she prays, "I wish I had a friend." Blah blah blah. Amen. And then when Dixie just pops up in a grocery store and wrestles the manager.
Yeah, because it's just India Opal and her dad and nobody else, running things in the household. India Opal does some, has some chores that maybe not all kids would have, so she has a task of like, have your parents ever sent you to the grocery store on your own to buy food for dinner? Has that ever
No.
happened? No. I don't think I've ever sent, not certainly not at 10 years old did I send my kids to and we live walking distance to the supermarket, but I don't think I would send them on their own. But
Well, I
this is a very
mean,
small
now.
town. Yeah. But so
Yeah.
she goes to the local supermarket, which is the Winn-Dixie. And people from that part of the country in the South United States, that's a very well-known supermarket chain. So what happens when she's doing the grocery shopping in the Winn-Dixie?
Well, Winn-Dixie, he pops up. And also, she's just bystanding, just like,
Fred, it's a podcast. People are mostly listening to this.
oh,
So
oh, sorry. She's
describe what you
just,
just showed us.
okay, so she's just smugly watching this, just laughing at them. It's kind of like how people watch Looney Tunes.
And describe what Winn-Dixie looks like, because that's a very important part of the book. Because he's not a lap dog like our dog.
No, he's like, I think he's like a German Shepherd or something. He has long scraggly hair. Apparently, he has like bald patches and stuff, and yellow teeth. He basically looks like the most stray, beat up dog in the world. But he also smiles.
And is
He
he?
smiles, and that's a big detail.
Yeah, they mention it a lot. And is what size of a dog is he?
Uh, well, he tackled a man. The
Yeah.
man fell down and couldn't get up. That's
So
how big it
it's
is.
pretty big, pretty big. And um she decides that she's going to this is her dog. She just makes that decision. And then she takes the dog home, this big, smelly, dirty dog,
Beat up.
and beat up. And I felt like her dad was pretty understanding about it, didn't you?
In the movie, he's less. In the book, he's a lot more understanding.
Mhm.
And also, oh, I think that. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. He when Dixie also I feel like when Dixie might have just popped up anywhere, he could have just popped up in the middle of the park. Why the grocery store?
Well,
Why not
if
when
he then what would his name have been?
park
Yeah,
or a well thought out name?
that's something that I kind of thought was a little strange in the book. I mean, it's fine, but we established that this is a very small community. It's not a big place at all. Everybody knows everybody else's business, and yet nobody knows where this dog came from. He just showed up out of nowhere. No, he's not anybody, doesn't belong to anybody. Nobody has seen him around town before. He shows up at the supermarket. Nobody's like, "Oh, that's the dog I saw last week." Nobody has
Like
seen
I
this
said,
dog before.
he's a miracle dog.
He is a
He
miracle dog.
she
There's some kind of
she
magical things, right?
yeah, she prayed to God. Dog dropped out of the sky,
Mhm.
landed in the Winn-Dixie. Boom.
So that's the
Fate
first
was
kind.
made when the dog dropped into the Winn-Dixie.
Yes, exactly. And that's one of the things that's kind of the first thing in the book that is a little bit
Mag-
magical, right? Yeah.
yeah,
What are some
it
other
definitely has.
magical things? Because eventually, um, so now that she has Winn-Dixie, she's got a friend, and he doesn't do very well on his own, so they have to take him everywhere. They take him to church. She always has him with her when she's going around the town, and eventually she meets and befriends some adults, right? So what are some of the
Yeah,
adults in the town that she makes friends with?
Otis.
Who's
Um,
Otis?
remember the guy that's played by Dave Matthews?
Yes. And Otis's character does what?
He's the pet owner, and also he plays the guitar. He's a jailbird. Also, he's also kind of magic. He
He's
controls
also
animals
kind
with
of
music.
magic. So Otis is a
Sweetie
man.
Pie's
Oh, go ahead.
oh Sweetie Pie says is he's a magic man. I'm gonna
Yes,
go tell my
Sweetie
mom
Pie
that there's
says
a
that.
magic man.
That he's a magic man. And so Otis is a man who we don't know if he owns the pet store. He's definitely
No,
running the pet store. It's called Gertrude's Pets, but we never
yeah,
meet
and
Gertrude.
yeah, she apparently in the movie he's taking care of her sick mother. Otis is explaining this, and he's her cousin,
Hmm.
and so she's letting him run it while
And
she's taking.
what about Otis is magic? Why does Sweetie Pie say that he's a magic man?
Remember when he plays his guitar and all the animals just calm down?
He sort
Like
of
they're not
charms
even in
all the animals
disturbances.
in the pet store, right? With his guitar playing.
Yeah, and also what? Oh yeah, so and when the thunderstorm happens at the end of the book, even though Winn-Dixie runs in the other direction and runs straight out, by the end of the book, he just pops out from under the bed.
Yep.
That's either magic or the best luck in the world.
Then another kind of magical element is Miss Block, the librarian, right? So another adult in the neighborhood that India Opal meets is a
Oh,
librarian,
the candy.
right? And or is her name Miss Block or her husband's
Granny
name?
Block.
Yes,
She
and
doesn't have a
um,
husband.
and she yes, and she has this library, and she's like kind of a rich lady, so she runs this library on her own. It's not like a city library, it's her library, and she lends books to people. And what's magic about her?
Uh, she's really old and hasn't died, or I don't know
You don't
honestly what you're
remember?
talking about.
What does
Is
well,
it
first of all, she has a lot of really good stories. So she tells India Opal lots of interesting stories about the past.
is
And
it
one of the
her
things she
memory?
tells her, yep, one of the stories that she tells India Opal is about an ancestor of hers who
Oh, the
opened
candy,
the candy factory, the
the
litmus
Miss
lozenges.
Lozenges,
Yeah.
and they supposedly taste sad.
Yes.
They taste sad. Like, how is that possible?
So
Well, good.
she gives one to India Opal, and she gives one to Amanda, who has wandered in, right? And they don't get along, the girls at this point. And the girls both try the candy, and what happens?
They say they taste the sadness, and she says only people that have experienced sorrow can taste the sadness.
Hmm.
So they're both depressed. They're two depressed children eating candy.
Well, they're two kids who have had some pretty serious things happen to them, right?
Trauma.
Yeah, yeah, kind of. And I don't know why that makes for a best-selling candy, but I guess it did. Um and the librarian gives the girls candies to share with the people in their lives. And as India is sharing um the candies with the people that she knows, her father, um what's the little girl's name? Sweetie Pie.
Yeah.
They it we learn things about them because the candy um brings out things about them that make them sad, right? And so we get to learn more about these people. And then there's also Gloria Dump. So tell us about Gloria Dump. Who's she?
She's a blind lady who I think used to be an alcoholic, but
Hmm.
now she's just a nice old lady. She's blind and says she needs to know people so she can see them with her heart. Uh, she has a pretty big garden, a really big house, also deemed to be a witch by the Dewberry Boys.
Do you have anybody in your neighborhood do you have any place in your neighborhood that the kids call a witch's house?
No. All
No?
the other kids on my street are either too young to know what witch means or
Ah.
too Christian to do so.
Oh, I see. Um, we had them when I was growing up. There was always a house in the neighborhood that people would call the witch's house. And it was probably just some nice person like Gloria Dump who lived there. Is Gloria Dump a witch?
No, she's more just old.
Is there anything magical about Gloria Dump, would you say?
Well, she's blind and yet she acts like she can still see.
That's kind of
Or
true.
what was your idea?
Well, I was just thinking I was just trying to think if there was anything, and the only thing that I could sort of think that maybe falls into that category is that she does talk about ghosts, right? But she
Right.
doesn't talk about ghosts the way that like on Scooby-Doo or something that they would talk about ghosts. Her ghosts are what?
Like the ghost of like like things she's haunted by. Like
Mhm. But what
her
kinds
being
of
an
things are
alcoholic.
yeah, like mistakes that she feels like she's made. And she calls those things ghosts. Like, have you ever had the experience where you've made a mistake about something, and everybody makes mistakes at some point or another, and you even though maybe it wasn't a big deal, or maybe like you apologized about it or something, and it still bothered you for a long time afterwards? Did you ever have that experience?
Yeah, kind of.
And that's kind of
Yeah,
like a ghost in a way.
yeah. So she talks with the undead or what?
But that's not really what she means, right? She's talking about she's bothered by things that she wished she had done differently.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not quite the same thing as like a woo-woo ghost. Um, and so India Opal, like what kind of a person would you say she is?
Mm, I think she doesn't really have a specified personality.
We don't have a lot of like particularly I mean she loves having a dog. She takes care of her dad as well as she can, but, it's not like, oh, she loves to sing or she loves to draw, but what's something that she does really, really love?
Hmm. She did say she played softball.
She did play softball.
Hmm.
When her father at one point, she asks her father to tell her 10 things about her mother, right? And
Yeah,
there's
in the
some
movie
things
they
about
do
her
it.
mother but there's some things about her mother in the book that she has in common with India Opal, and what are those things? Do you remember?
They're both redheads.
They're both redheads.
Right? Um,
What's something they both
hmm,
like?
running.
Oh, yeah, running, that was something they had in common. What was something else that they both really liked?
Let's see. I can't remember all of them.
A good
Mm, oh, a good story.
a good story. And so that's why when she goes to see, the librarian, and the librarian starts saying, "Whoa, that's a good story. I'll tell you that story." India Opal always says yes and sits and listens to the
Yeah.
good story, right?
Yeah, everyone tells her a story and she always listens.
Mhm.
I think
So she's a
there's
good
only
listener.
I think the only adult that didn't tell her story in the entire book is Mr. Alfred.
Oh, their landlord, who's not delighted about having a dog on his property, right?
Yeah.
Now, um, would you say that so we're, like, racking up quite a good number of friends that she's making once
Yeah.
Winn-Dixie comes into her life. So she doesn't just get one friend, she gets lots of friends. Would you say that India Opal is a good friend?
Well, yeah. I should just be answering every question in this video with because of Winn-Dixie.
Yeah. Winn-Dixie shows her how to be a good friend, huh?
Yeah, that's actually on the list of 10 things she says about Winn-Dixie. Number 10, he's a good friend.
Oh, that's right. Um, Now, when she decides that so the book is really just about when Dixie comes into her life, and then she starts to make friends with all of these other people in the town, who she meets because of Winn-Dixie, like you're saying. Um, but one of the things that happens is that she decides to do something for Gloria Dump, who cannot see. Do you remember what it is?
Oh, read her book.
Read her a book. Now I'm curious, Fred, in the version of the book that you read, what was the book that she reads to Gloria Dump?
Passing in the Wind or something like that.
Oh, Gone with
Something
the
Wind.
Wind? Gone with the
Yeah,
Wind? Okay. So, yeah, the same version. I read an older version of the book, and that's also, the story that they use in the movie, which
yeah,
we'll talk about in
it's
just a
the
second.
same in all of them.
Well, no, later she changed it. Um, Gone with the Wind is, there's some themes in Gone with the Wind that aren't the greatest. So especially maybe in a book for kids. So Kate DiCamillo changed the book that India Opal reads to Gloria Dump from Gone with the Wind to, I think it's David Copperfield now, is the book that India Opal reads to her. And it's not that important, but what is important is that uh as she's reading to Miss Gloria Dump, she gets the idea, or they get the idea together to do what?
Well, in the movie, it's not together, it's just Opal, but it's to
Yeah,
throw a party for everyone.
to have a party.
Yay!
Well, party's pretty good. Look, when she first gets to this town, can she does she even know enough people to invite to a party?
Mm,
Who would she invite besides her dad?
well, I mean, an imaginary friend.
Right.
That's all you need.
So she's realizing, as she's reading to Gloria Dump about this party in the book, in the book of Gone with the Wind, and I'm trying to remember the David Copperfield. There must be a way that she weaves it in now, but there's a scene early on in Gone with the Wind where there's this big barbecue that the whole town comes to, and so that's why they get the idea. And India Opal finally knows enough people that she can have a big party like that and invite everybody, all her friends that she's now made. Why did she make these friends?
Because of Winn-Dixie.
Because of Winn-Dixie. So they prepare the party, and we'll talk about the movie in a minute. The movie is very similar to the book. There's just a couple of little differences, but
Yeah.
something happens at the party. Um, which is we established early on that Winn-Dixie has a pathological fear of what?
Thunderstorms. And
And
he
what
runs
happens
away at
in
the
the
party.
party?
Thunderstorm.
And they're busy rushing around getting everything inside to keep the sandwiches from getting all wet, and they realize that Winn-Dixie has gone missing. Now this is different
Yeah.
in the book than in the movie, right? This part of the
Right.
end is different. So um in the book, India Opal and her dad and everybody is running around looking for Winn-Dixie. Or not everybody, just but mainly India Opal and her dad are running around looking for him. And what happens?
Then and Winn-Dixie turns up under the bed, which is
Turns out he
probably
didn't
one
really
of the
go
magic.
anywhere, right?
Right. Well, he did go under the bed, but in the movie, he just walks through the door and he says, "Hey,"
Yeah.
and everyone's
It's
just like, "Where were you?"
Yeah, yeah. So it's just a little bit different in the ending, but otherwise, I mean, it's pretty similar. What would you say was your favorite thing about the book?
Um, Probably the story about the bear.
Oh, right. Oh, you know what? We have a clip of that from the movie. We'll play that when we get to the movie right now. Um,
Yeah.
the librarian, that's the first really neat story that the librarian tells India Opal when they very first meet, is about the time a bear came into the library.
Yeah, and she thought a dog was a bear.
Because Winn-Dixie is not small, as we've established. He's not as big as a bear,
Yeah.
but he's pretty big for a dog. Um, is this
He's
oh,
probably he he could probably be standing on all four of his legs and be able to be on my camera. Or
he's pretty big. Yeah, he can be kind of eye to eye with an adult, right?
mm, if he stands
Um,
up.
if he stands up. So we're going to show the trailer for the movie. Now, the book came out in the year 2000. The movie comes out in 2005. The book, as we said, was super successful and popular once it finally got published, and it was made into a big Hollywood movie. Our director is Wayne Wang, and I'm trying to see the same director that did Joy Luck Club, Made in Manhattan, um, Last Holiday, quite a lot of really big movies. And we'll show the trailer and then we'll talk about the cast and all of that. Let's show the trailer here.
Awkward silence.
Century Fox.
I know it's hard moving all the time, and that's part of my job.
She was the new kid.
But they already have a picture.
In a town where even neighbors were strangers.
People in Naomi used to rely on each other.
I think people forgot how to share their joy.
Till the day she made a simple wish.
If it's not too much trouble, I'd like a friend.
Somebody go grab that dog! Don't let him get away!
And everyone started to feel the magic.
Go on, pal!
Wait, that's my dog. Come on, boy. Come on, Winn-Dixie.
You do not need a dog.
You know how you always tell me that we should help those who are less fortunate? He's less fortunate.
From acclaimed director Wayne Wang.
Dixie, where are you taking us?
Gertrude, the parrot, doesn't like dogs.
Ow!
Well, that's crazy.
And the celebrated best-selling book.
Better watch out. That dog is headed right for the witch's house. Winn-Dixie! Winn-Dixie, where are you? Stop it! Did you eat my dog? Winn-Dixie's better at making friends than anyone.
Teach us to love one another.
Jeff Daniels.
This isn't a dog, it's a horse.
Cicely Tyson.
He sure loved peanut butter.
Dave Matthews.
I was just playing for the animals. They seem to like it.
That dog's magic.
Eva Marie Saint.
It's a bear.
It's just Winn-Dixie.
That dog is smiling at me.
And introducing Anna Sophia Robb.
They never want to play with us. I got there! Whoa!
What is going on around here? Get away from there! Oh, that's a wedgie.
Don't you love a dog with a sense of humor? I want to see you smile.
Discover what can happen when you go looking for a miracle.
This town just isn't the same.
And a miracle comes looking for you.
Just about everything good that happened that summer happened because of, well, you know.
Because of Winn-Dixie.
Oh, that's gross. I want to see you smile.
That dog is the most smug person I have ever met. Well, read about.
So to start with, Winn-Dixie is played by several dogs. And the breed of dog that Winn-Dixie is played by in the film is called, I've never heard of this kind of dog before. It's called a Picardy Shepherd. And the two main dogs who play Winn-Dixie are called Scott and Lyco. But there were 4 dogs in all that played Winn-Dixie. So to start with, Fred, what do you think about the casting of the dog? Do you feel like they captured
Yeah.
what you imagined when you read the book?
Yeah, they definitely captured that image of Winn-Dixie in my head. I I just imagined him the tiniest bit more ugly.
Yeah. Once they clean him up, and we'll play the bath section in just a minute, but Winn-Dixie is described, when we first meet Winn-Dixie, is described as looking pretty rough, right? Like you
Yeah.
said, like patches of skin, like patches where the fur is come off and really dirty. And somebody in the book describes him as like a carpet covered horse or something like that.
The preacher, he says, "This isn't a dog. This is a horse." Because Winn-Dixie's like head to head with him when he's standing up. If Winn-Dixie is also standing up,
Yeah,
Winn-Dixie is probably one of the bigger species of dogs.
he's pretty big. But you're right. In the movie, he's a little more glammed up than
Yeah.
in the book. Yeah. But it's pretty good. India Opal does not have red hair.
Yeah, which is kind of a disappointment.
Yeah.
I kind of imagined her like Coyote Sunrise from the best-selling book Coyote Sunrise.
Does
The
it have
character is in the title.
a redheaded girl in the book?
Yeah, she's the main character.
Mm. I will say this. So, our main character, India Opal, is played by Anna Sophia Robb, who also played Violet Beauregard in that Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie. She does in this picture, because of Winn-Dixie, she actually looks a lot like Kate DiCamillo. She looks a lot like our author did at that age when she moved to Florida, which I thought was kind of, I don't know if that was on purpose, but she does look kind of a lot like the author at that age. Our dad, the preacher, is Jeff Daniels. Have you seen Jeff Daniels in any other movies?
I might have, but I don't specifically look at the
No?
list of actors.
Not that
I probably have.
Okay. We have Gloria Dump is played by Cicely Tyson, who we talked about on this program before. What was the one that we talked about? Fried Green Tomatoes. She was in that. And the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman, which is a wonderful movie that she was in. And Otis of Gertrude's Pets is played, as you mentioned, by Dave Matthews. Miss Franny Block, our librarian, is played by Eva Marie Saint. And let's play a clip of India Opal coming to now. Do you remember, Fred, in the book, before India Opal, we know that she loves stories and they established that she loves stories, but do you remember them talking about her reading and being into reading per se before she goes to the library?
Well, I mean, some people will just pick out a book even if they don't like reading, but I think since she went to the library a lot, it's safe to say she likes reading.
I think that's probably true. Let's play this scene. I thought they did a good job with this scene and getting very close to what they described in the book. And I liked the grocery store scene too that we saw at the beginning of the show. I thought they got pretty close to capturing the story that the book tells. So we're going to show this is her showing up at the library.
So Democrats are already saying that this is taco. Trump always chickens out. Let me give you another acronym. Okay. Nacho. Never avoid.
There we go. Hold on. So our librarian, Miss Franny Block, is played here by Eva Marie Saint, who was a very famous Hollywood actress in the golden age of Hollywood. Do you know what movie she was in? She's in one of your mom's favorite movies, as I recall.
Back to the Future.
No, good guess. North by Northwest. It's a very famous Alfred Hitchcock film. She's in with
I'm
with
guessing
Cary
it's
Grant.
too adult for me.
Definitely too adult for you. So that's pretty accurate to the book, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Which of do you okay, let me ask you this. So when we just cut the scene off right now, she's about to tell India Opal this story when they're first meeting about a bear coming into the library. Do you think a bear actually came into the library? Do you think that
Well,
really happened?
I'm not sure if it did or it didn't.
It's not really clear, is it?
No. She could just be an old lady who's losing her mind.
Do we have any other, but we don't, well, let me put it this way. When you hear the story about the bear, even in the book, when you read it, it's not really clear if the bear is real or not real. It certainly she tells people about it because they tease her about it, right? And so you, the reader, or watching the movie, the viewer, think like, oh, I don't know about this bear thing. But then she tells
Yeah.
you a just as fantastical story about the candy that makes you sad. And is that real?
Yeah, so
That is real.
yeah, a bear definitely could have come into a library. Probably could have eaten her too.
And what
But
about oh, go ahead.
but the bear also checked out War and Peace, so
Yes.
I hope he's not rallying the bears as we speak.
There are we have the Dewberries, right?
Yeah,
Stevie and
they're
Nick Dewberry. Were they how
yeah,
you imagine them?
yeah.
Yeah.
Two dim-witted boys. Exactly how I imagined them.
Oh, really? And then we have a very, very young Elle Fanning as Sweetie Pie Thomas. She's certainly in a lot of movies these days. What about characters that were not in the book? Are there characters that were not in the book? Can you think of any?
Mm. Hmm. No.
No?
Is there one that isn't?
The only one that I can think of, and maybe they were in the book and I just don't remember, is the sheriff that comes
Yeah,
around and is bothering Otis.
I'm on the edge of that one too.
It certainly wasn't as big of a deal as it is in the movie, right?
Yeah, they just added him so that they could make Winn-Dixie do Looney Tunes stuff.
Yeah. And what do you think about the cast?
Well, they did their job well, and I don't know many of them. I don't know actors very well unless they're on Broadway, then and I know everything about them. But yeah, that's all I have to say about the actors. Amazing job.
Amazing
Hope they're
job.
doing well.
Who do you think which actors did you think did the best job of achieving what you imagined in the book?
The
Because
dogs
already
that
we
saved
know India
Winn-Dixie.
Opal. Yeah, we know India Opal doesn't look at all like she looks in the book.
Yeah, I think
But
they
as
just
far
did
as her
it so that they could.
personality,
They were encore with her personality. It's not the actor's fault that they don't look like her. It's not their fault, but they do the personality really well to make up for it.
what about Gloria Dump? So we talked a little bit about Gloria Dump and the ghosts that she talks about having in her life, which are really the mistakes that she made that that kind of haunt her like a ghost would. And
I think she's just wise.
Yeah, how does she represent those mistakes to herself?
She hangs bottles on a tree and stopped.
Now, when you saw the tree. So they describe in the book this tree with bottles hanging from it, and they're all different kinds of bottles. And some of them are liquor bottles. And she says that yes, that she also had a drinking problem. But when you saw the tree in the movie, was it the way that you imagined it?
It's a tree.
It's
I
not just a
honestly
tree.
don't.
It's
I know, but
huge.
it's a huge tree.
Yeah. With a lot of bottles. Did you not think that was, I mean, I was surprised how many bottles there were. I was like, whoa, I didn't know it was that many mistakes.
Well, I mean, we make like at least, I've made at least 50 mistakes since we started this video.
And where are your bottles? What about, what did you think of the party scene?
Oh, that was great. I think they couldn't have made it more beautiful if they tried. And if they did, it would be overkill.
It seemed believable, right? That
Right.
Gloria and India Opal did all of that themselves. I agree. It wasn't too much. It wasn't like, oh, they clearly got a professional lighting designer in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what about like India Opal through the course of this book? She makes friends with Ms. Block. She makes friends with Gloria Dump. She makes friends with Otis. But these people don't necessarily know each other. And they're all they sort of do, like they know who the person is, but they're not really friends. So what do you think about that? About gathering all these people together who don't necessarily know each other very well, and they're all meeting for the first time?
Well, I mean, Otis could have introduced himself better than just, I brought pickles.
Yeah.
But also, I think it's like basically what the litmus lozenges did.
In what way?
Well, Miss Franny Block said they brought the town together to share their sorrow. And in the trailer, she said, India said, the people of this town have not forgotten to share their sorrow, but share their joy. It's really deep. For
It
a
is.
10-year-old.
That's extremely deep for a 10-year-old. What about, we haven't talked very much about the preacher. And
yeah,
what do you think about the preacher?
In my notes, I did like a Venn diagram for each and every one of them. Wait, is Venn diagram the one with the circles or?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I did that. And with the preacher, the whole thing was just the one in the middle. He didn't change, except for he was more nice to Winn-Dixie in the book.
Well, I mean, that's a pretty big change because he said that she couldn't have a dog at all.
True.
And also, when the book started, India Opal didn't know anything about her mother. Nothing at all. Can you imagine being 10 years old and not even knowing what one of your parents look like?
Not really, but I mean, in the book, she got told about her mother a lot earlier.
True.
But and she brings her up a lot more.
Yeah.
But in the movie, it's like one of the last things to happen, and could maybe get a. Yeah, we should have done this beforehand. Maybe get a clip from the movie that's the list of 10 things.
I tried to find the list of 10 things. I couldn't find a clip of that, but let's try to remember what some of them are. So one of is what she looks like. You mentioned that she was a fast runner. This is India's mother. That she liked a good story. What else?
He, she was a good gardener. He
Oh,
specifically
yeah.
said that if she stuck a tire in the ground, she'd grow a car.
Mm-hmm.
She was very nice. She was an alcoholic. She was
Mm-hmm.
very funny. She burned everything, including water.
She could not cook.
Yeah. Do you remember the rest?
I remember that the last thing he said about her was that she didn't like being a preacher's wife.
Oh yeah, it made her feel like a bug under a microscope.
Mm-hmm. And at some point in the book and in the movie, she asks, as any kid would, I think, why did she leave? And he says, I don't know. She just left us and she didn't leave anything behind or something like that, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about a dad who would not tell his daughter about her mother and then finally, what do you think about that?
I think he's just trying to be protective. Like, and also he probably just doesn't want to talk to her. It's like talking about a dead relative or a dead friend.
Like it's too painful.
Yeah.
But then after they go searching, when Winn-Dixie goes, did you think they were going to well, you when you read the book originally, did you think they were going to find Winn-Dixie?
Yeah, I actually had this whole theory that Winn-Dixie was actually her mom's dog and he was going to leave them back to her. That was this whole complex theory that I don't think we have time for. But
oh, that's interesting though. Yeah, I wasn't sure either if I wasn't sure if they were going to find him or not, because there's a point where she's frantically like getting ready to go out and looking for him in the night, and Gloria Dump says something to her. Do you remember what she says?
She's like, don't go out there. It's a thunderstorm. You could get struck, for God's sake.
And she also tells her something like,
some things are like meant to be let go.
Yeah, something like that. Like some things that are some things are meant to be let go, or something you have to just love them while you have them, and they may not come back to you. So I thought, oh no, Winn-Dixie's not going to come back, but then he does.
Yeah. Don't you have a clip of that?
I don't have a clip of that. I don't
think.
Oh,
okay.
I do have a clip of this. So the movie did very well. The book did very well. How do you think that felt for the author, who got over 400 rejections about this story?
She was probably like, ha! You suckers thought my book should be rejected. It was a multi-million-dollar book, suckers. And it'd probably have to be blurred if I flip the bird. So I'm not gonna do that.
Okay, good.
I'm just gonna say. But yeah, that she's just like, yeah, it was too good for you, you dopes, anyways.
That happens. Sometimes publishers pass on a story and it turns out to be one of those bestsellers. So I was going to say, because the book was so successful and because the movie was so successful, in 2013, they even developed a musical.
Really?
Should we take? Yes. And I know you like musicals.
Yeah.
Were you aware
I am a theater child.
Were you aware that they developed a musical of Because of Winn-Dixie?
If it was, then I'd be talking about it nonstop.
Yeah, it was. I don't think it went to Broadway. It was a regional production, but let's take a little look at it and see what we think.
Yeah. If it's good, I'll probably binge watch it.
Here we go.
It is about a girl. Her father is a preacher, and they move to a new town in Florida where she doesn't know anybody and is quite lonely.
Ow!
She meets a stray in a Winn-Dixie store and decides at that moment that she's going to take this dog home with her, and he'll be her friend if no one else will. But what she finds is that the whole town actually is filled with kids and adults who also have some loneliness, some problems. Winn-Dixie not only helps the heroine, Opal, connect with other people, he kind of helps the whole town connect together.
The story is based on the award-winning novel by Kate DiCamillo and features the work of Tony Award winners John Rando and composer Duncan Sheik, with book and lyrics by Tony nominee Nell Benjamin.
Yeah, it's a children's book, but it's not a children's musical. It has some very dark moments, some very funny moments. The whole family can enjoy it. Duncan's songwriting is really special, and it fits perfectly with the place where this show takes place, the time and the story. There's just emotion in this music.
Left him alone, that's a feeling I've known.
And of course, if a dog is starring in a performance, that means that world-renowned animal trainer Bill Berloni has to be involved.
I started with the original production of Annie, which actually started at the Goodspeed Opera House in 1976, went on to Broadway. And since then, I've had this fantastic career of training animals for some 27 other Broadway shows. We have a 90-acre farm here in Connecticut, and we call it the house that Sandy built.
I worked with Bill Berloni on Legally Blonde, the musical.
What's cookies?
Bill wanted a show where a dog isn't just brought in at the last minute to do tricks, but rather is sort of an actor, is a lead actor in the show.
The dog who's playing Winn-Dixie in the show is a dog named Bodie. He's a very large poodle mixed with something big because the character in the book is a giant dog. We actually adopted him for the show.
Good boy.
Want to smell him? What's up? No!
The chemistry between these two cannot be denied.
You can't take anybody off the street and just put them on stage and have them tap dance. But in this one, there's a fourth criteria, and it's actually you have to be good with dogs. Okay, let's have them walk around in a circle.
There's just this dog who's jumping on me, playing with me. It's just a great job.
But there's more to this show than meets the eye.
So I love working with great female characters, and Opal is a great young lady. She's a girl, she's turning 13, and her love for Winn-Dixie allows her to sort of reach out to people, including other girls who are going through stuff and other women who've been through stuff. So there's this wonderful community of women.
This brand new musical starring Opal and Winn-Dixie will steal your heart.
It's a show about showing kindness to someone else and then receiving it in turn, and how that builds the places, the communities that we want to live in.
When was the musical made?
2013. Let me see here. Adaptations. Yes, 2013. It debuted at the Arkansas Repertory Theater. How adorable is that dog?
Oh my God, I want it.
He's so cute.
Even I like it, and I have a what's it called that Winn-Dixie has of thunderstorms?
A pathological fear.
Yeah, I have a pathological fear of dogs, and even I want that dog.
So cute. Wow. Yeah, see if you can find it online. It looks good. So
yeah, if Lily is staring at you right now, it means she's jealous and wants revenge on that dog.
No, she's not in the room right now. So Fred, the time has come for us to decide, which do we like better, the book or the movie?
What's your choice? I
haven't even thought about it yet. Let me think. I really, really liked the book, I have to say. I would have loved that book when I was a kid.
Yeah, I feel like the book has more detail.
Mm-hmm.
I say the book wins.
Yeah,
say?
I'm going to give it to the book, although I thought the movie was very well done. I think they did a very good job of. You can't always. It's always hard when you put adapt a book into a film, because a film is usually under 2 hours, and a book gives you an opportunity to have so much more. And they did a good job of including a lot of the main stuff of the book, but I like her writing so much. I think she does a good job of letting you inside the mind of India Opal, because India Opal's the one who's telling the story. So yeah, I think I would give an edge to the book. But I did really, really like this film.
Yeah, and also, what's the one that's the same author but the mouse?
Despero, Tale of Despero.
Yeah, they made that into a movie. Have you done that yet?
Nope, we have not done Tale of Despero.
Yeah.
Do you want to come back and do Tale of Despero sometime?
Sure.
Okay. So usually this is where I tell people where to find our co-host on social media, but we're not going to do that.
She's not your mama.
That's me. But let's finish instead, Fred, with what is a favorite book that you've read lately, because you are what we would call a voracious reader. You read a lot. If there's any other 10-year-olds out there listening, what book would you recommend to them right now that you've read recently?
Oh, I thought you were asking me so that you could let's see if it would be a good podcast episode.
No, I just mean to read.
Yeah, I recommend Wings of Fire.
Winds of Fire or Wings of Fire?
Wings of Fire. No, it's not chicken wings. It's dragons. It's a dragon soap opera that's also war, death, decaying, dying, more death, blood, gore. You get the idea.
Okay. Wow.
It's for kids ages is 8 to 13.
And is it a series?
Yes. There are 16 books as of right now.
Whoa.
In the main series.
And how many of them have you read?
All of them.
All of them.
Plus the extra books, which are the... In all, there are 25 books.
Wow. Oh, books that are not part of the series, but they're by the same author?
No. That are part of the series, but are extra, but are added to the main series of books. I recommend it to all the other
Tell me one more time. It's called Wings
of Fire.
And
yeah,
our
there
author
was going to be
is Chewy T.
Sutherland. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, you've heard it from Fred. Wings of Fire. And what are you looking forward to reading next that you haven't read yet?
Something that I haven't read. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what there is that I haven't read. If there's a book that I know about, I've probably read it.
I will tell you, as the aunt that buys everybody books, it is hard to buy books for Fred because he has read everything. It's very true. Okay. It's a good thing your birthday is not coming up, because I would be stumped.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Fred, for doing the show.
You're welcome. I'd actually probably want to do this more.
Okay. Well, we can have you back on. Maybe we'll have you back on to do we could talk about Despero.
Oh yeah. It has a good movie. Not as good as the book though. The book is better.
Oh, spoiler alert, Fred likes the book better. Okay, everybody, thank you for being here. We'll be back soon with another fun new episode and another fun new guest co-host. And for now, we're going to say bye.